What's up, fight fans? It's the homie, main man, made man in the building. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, going down on Wednesdays and Saturdays here on Main Man, Made Man's Boxing, man. What's up with y'all out there, man? I hope y'all out there cooling. I hope everybody out there doing good. Hope y'all staying COVID-19 free out there. You know what I mean? Staying quarantined with your family, staying healthy, staying safe, the whole nine. You know what I mean? All well wishes from the homie, main man, made man, for real, man. So, news out today, fight fans. News out today, as always, in the boxing world. Here we got Bob Arum. Bob Arum, current top-ranked CEO, current promoter of Terrence Bud Crawford. Well, we all know that a lot of y'all want to see Crawford versus Showtime Shawn Porter. And I'm not the biggest fan of the fight. I'm gonna be 100 with y'all. People look at me sideways when I say that. They be like, man, what you talking about? You ain't a big fan of the fight. I'm not a big fan of the fight. I'm just not. You know what I'm saying? My deal is, it's a great. I mean, don't get me wrong. When I say I'm not a fan of the fight, I'm not saying is it from a competitive standpoint, as if it wouldn't be a great fight to watch or if it wouldn't be a good fight to see. That's not my point of view. My point of view on the matter is, I would rather see other things. It's a good fight. It's a decent fight. But we're beyond this point at this point. I've seen these fighters have good fights, have decent fights. I need to see elite fights. I want to see the best fight the best is what I'm basically trying to say. So we all know that the fans been kind of banging on this drum, trying to get Porter to live up to the moment. You know, Shawn Porter's already told the world that he needs to have a conversation with Bud Crawford before he can make any sort of commitments. He cannot say that he wants to fight his friend, Terrence Crawford, because they are friends and they got to have a conversation first. Even the last video I did covering this, I remember everybody inboxing me, main man, made man, Porter has done it. He's called out Bud. I run to the tube to see what's good. And all I hear is a video of him talking about he still has to have a conversation. You know what I mean? Shawn conversation Porter. This is the longest conversation in history amongst friends, but whatever, man. So the deal is this. So here we are today now, and I've already told everybody in previous videos, I say, look, this is what it really is. It's not about any of this crap, this smoke and mirrors crap that we see in the public. What it is neither one of these fighters want to tell neither one of these fighters to their face or say it in the public that, yo, bro, ain't no money there. They don't want to say, ain't nobody trying to pay for us. They don't want to say, Terrence don't want to say to Shawn, you ain't got a fan base. Shawn don't want to say to Terrence, oh, your fan base don't follow you to pay-per-view. They don't want to say those things, so they playing nice. Oh, well, you know, they were friends. We got to talk. We got to have a discussion. They know what the business is, and the business is right here. Today, Bob Arum, I'm sure y'all seen the big headline article over on Boxing Scene. Bob Arum is out today in quotes, letting it be evidently more known into the POV that we've already been saying. And he's basically saying that who can afford a Shawn Porter fight? Here's a quote right here. I'm happy that Shawn Porter and Terrence want to sit and talk about a fight. But, you know, that's the first step. The second step is, how in the hell do you afford the fight and how do you put it on? End quote. See, this is what I'm talking about. And this is the reason I'll be hesitant to talk about and crying, you know, like, or yelling that I want to see this fight. Because it's like with Terrence Crawford, you got to be a certain kind of opponent in order to lure them across the water. And that is, you got to basically be a star that sells. A star that sells. Because in Terrence Crawford case, in order for him to face a guy with a name, they got to pay Crawford so much money that the fight will have to go on pay-per-view. And if he's fighting somebody with a name, then that fight is going to want to be on pay-per-view as well. And they're going to want good money to face Terrence Crawford. So this leaves Bob Arum in the position of, well, I can't pay for both of these guys unless I put them on pay-per-view. Now, Bob is telling you, well, given with the coronavirus and everything that's broke out, pay-per-view is going to be dead once boxing resumes. So how in the hell am I going to afford to put this fight on when ain't nobody willing to pay $70 or $80 to do a pay-per-view? According to the article, and I don't usually read the article, but I'll just do a quick little paragraph. Arum's primary problem with Crawford Porter is that it's likely more expensive to make the fight than it is worth, particularly in a post-pandemic economy within which cost-conscious consumers will be more reluctant than usual to pay $70 or $80 to watch it. I agree. And that's what makes Bob say, well, how can I afford to put this on? because I can't put it on pay-per-view right now. Now, I think that's bull crap, and we're going to get more into that. I think it's all bullshit. But he's saying that, yo, man, I already want to have a problem with selling this because neither man are pay-per-view attractions like that. You know, Shawn Porter has not proven to be a pay-per-view attraction, and most people believe that Earl Spence Jr. Curry Day pay-per-view. And as for Turnbull Crawford, well, his numbers speak for themselves. You know what I mean? So he's not this big pay-per-view attraction like that. So it's like, it's hard to pay for him, man. And it was already hard enough to put you on before the coronavirus. Now the coronavirus is happening. Everyone's losing their jobs. People living, you know, to their bare essentials right now. A lot of people are. So boxing is like way to the back. All of them subscriptions to these networks, pay-per-views, all that is gone for a while, at least for the first couple months. I agree with Bob. And so this was the position that he's in. According to Bob Arum, and I quote, obviously I don't do the fighting. Terrence does. I like Shawn Porter, but he's not my fighter. If Terrence wants to do that fight, I'll do my best to see it happen. But again, wanting a fight, even when both fighters want it, the question is who's gonna pay for it? And that's a whole big problem. You certainly couldn't do that fight without an audience. And Terrence says if he fights without an audience, he wants more money. He's already on record this week as saying that. He goes on to say, even if you rely on pay-per-view revenue, who knows how robust it will be? People who watch pay-per-view usually do it with a whole group of people in their homes. And who knows when people are going to be willing to open up their homes to a substantial number of people. There's a lot of uncertainty now, and we've got to go slow. We can't answer the questions if we're back in the old days when things were normal, till we're back in the old days when things were normal, end quote. I agree. Ain't nobody coming up in my house. No time soon, champ. You know what I mean? I'm known for throwing fight parties amongst my circle and having gatherings, all kind of cookouts and parties all the time. That's me. I'm Mr. Party Man. But this year, this summer, oh, we gonna pump the brakes on that. Ain't nobody coming up in this piece no time soon. Real shit. And that's how I see it. That's just me. Until I get this shit is all flushed down the drain or died down to back to normal levels or whatever the case may be. No, I don't want a bunch of people in my crib. I'm gonna keep it 100. So Bob may have a point. How about y'all? You know what I mean? Y'all want people in y'all crib? Muhammad Ali in the building. Good morning, family. Coach Kennedy, good morning. Good morning. KP from KC5. Bob is a wild dude. Yeah, he a wild dude, man. He a wild dude. Now, though I'm giving him credit with this whole, pay-per-view thing, don't get it twisted. This whole we can't afford Shawn Porter talk has been going on for quite some time, at least that I've been seeing. And like I said, this is prior to coronavirus. So he can try to make it like, it's because of the coronavirus and we're not going to put on pay-per-views. The fact of the matter is, Bob, you don't want to do the pay-per-view. Because even in the beginning, nobody from PBC was ever saying about sending no dollars for Showtime Shawn Porter. They were talking about sending Showtime Shawn Porter, but no dollars. Now, I've even in the past been telling people like, yo, that's fucked. How they going to do that for Tyson Fury and how they going to do that for Lomachenko, but then they don't want to make no investment for Bud. You know what I'm saying? In Bud's case, it's not much more different than Tyson Fury's, but it's small differences. In Loma's case, it is minor differences, but still the same principle. You know what I mean? And the biggest difference is, say, in Lomachenko's case, when he went over to another network to fight and they paid for Lomachenko, they didn't put him on pay-per-view. They put him on a subscription-based app. So they just had to pay him a lump. They gave him his money. We know DAZN got the money. And he went over to DAZN and he fought Luke Campbell? They paid for Lomachenko. Bob had no problem sending Loma on over there. And Loma got a bag and kicked Bob his cut. And it was what it was, but it wasn't on pay-per-view. In pay-per-views, you got to have two sides working together. You can't just say, I'm going to send you my guy, pay for him. Pay-per-view, I need a partner. Now, if we're going to put this on regular network TV like ESPN or DAZN or Showtime, then we could talk something different. But if we talk in pay-per-view, the difference, conversation changes just a small little bit. Now I need a partner. You think Tyson Fury, for example, Tyson Fury had 3 promoters involved in that fight. 3. It took 3 to make that happen. 3. Frank Warren, Bob Arum, and I think it was Mayweather Promotions, right? For Deontay Wilder. It took 3, and they all participated, and they all kicked something to the pot to make it happen. It's the same way they would have to do with Earl. If Earl was now, Bob would definitely take the fight with Earl because Earl got a fan base. If he put this money out there for Earl in turns, guess what? The chances of him making it back are very, very high very high. So of course you welcome something like that. But in Shawn Porter's case, it's like, bro, you ain't got nobody paying to see you fight. You know? Now on a flip tip, Bob Arum needs an opponent for Terence Crawford. We all know this. We've talked about this forever. He needs an opponent for Terence Crawford and keep just these same little talking points that Bob has been putting out here forever. I need a partner. I need someone to pay for it. Who knows him? He can't sell. All of this type talk, it's starting to get a little stale too. You know what I mean? Especially when I see all the moving parts going on, what that could be made. It's Mikey Garcia right there. Now, Mikey Garcia, what's up with that? And this is, the crazy part about this is the same stuff that Mikey Garcia said Bob did to him, Bob counter doing to Porter. And I'm being honest. Mikey says, how are you running around, Bob, saying that I want this amount of money when you've never even called me? You never talked to me. We barely talked about a fight since 2014. Well, Bob, you don't know exactly what Shawn want now, do you? Because him and Terence ain't had a phone call. Kenny Porter's out here saying that Bob ain't called us. So how do you know what Shawn wants if you ain't talking, man? You know what I'm talking about? And it's saying like to me, in this case, same thing. Bob ain't calling nobody. You don't know what nobody wants if you ain't talking to him, right or wrong. I don't know. KP from KC5 says Jose Ramirez is going to be who they use, and they will do it in Vegas or Cali. Jose Ramirez again? Jose, the 140. I'm thinking of Benavidez. My fault. Jose Ramirez is going to be who they use. That's a good fight. And it'll be even a bit better fight if Jose Ramirez can beat Josh Taylor. If they make that happen and he becomes undisputed, I would just love to see the last two undisputed champions at 140 go head to head, whether it be Josh or Ramirez. If one of them emerge undisputed, going against the last undisputed cat at 140 in Crawford, maybe meeting at a catchweight somewhere in the middle, I'm down for that. I'm down for that. And that is I believe, the weapon that Bob Arum is keeping in his back pocket. Like, people be like, Bob ain't tripping all this and Bob ain't tripping all of that. The reason he ain't tripping because he got them 140 cats and he's ready to bring them up. And that's going to give Crawford all the opponents he needs. That's what he doing. Nino Brown in the building, DMV in the building all day. Salute to you, fam. Nino, when I get up off of here, this because I can't do it on here, you getting that blue suit, fam. Blue suit all day. I'll do it as soon as this is over. And it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Muhammad Ali say, yo, BBBFC are aiming to get British boxing going again in July. Way too early, in my opinion. So many variables. Yeah, man, they better be careful with that, Joe. They better be careful because one event go wrong. One event go wrong. You get a big outbreak or a lot of people from this particular event dies or something like that, bro. It's over. They're going to shut it down, and who knows how long they're going to shut it down at that point. Not to mention lives can be possibly lost. So I hope they know what the hell they doing. Real spill. But yeah, man. But Bob, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. Do Shawn Porter got a quarantine phone because he's been supposed to talk to Bud? Exactly, bro. I don't know. He got one of them Obama Jones, man. Like, he got a cricket phone or something, man. Like, I don't know. He might be still using a pay phone. I don't know what's up with Shawn, man. Shawn got to make a phone call and have a conversation for the last 2.5 years. I don't know, bro. I honestly have no idea. But all I do know is, Bob, like I told you, these excuses started to get a little stale. And who gonna pay for this and who gonna pay for that? Nobody ain't trying to hear that no more, man. So Bob just got to just say, hey, on one fight, I have to gamble. I have to gamble with Crawford. It's almost, to me, making it look like Bob don't believe in the dude. It's like, you got to gamble, bro. Yeah, don't get me wrong. You take a Shawn Porter, for example. That's a risky fucking fight. And no, it ain't the biggest star in the world. No, he's not. You're not going to make $1 zillion off the fight. True. But on the flip, if Crawford beat Porter, man, I don't know if that was going to lure the PBC dudes any faster. I really don't, because they always moving the goalposts. I remember what they said when he was supposed to fight Jeff Horn. I remember what they said, get a belt, blah, 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 blah. And I don't know if that brings that fight any faster, but if Bud beat Porter, his name will be flying through the welterweight division with a bullet. And I just, with the pressure from the fans. I mean, we already applying pressure, but there's a defensive wall too. You know what I mean? Like the Spence fans, they all businessmen now. They go back 2 years ago, and the Spence fans were the biggest bangers of the table of let Spence in, give him his goddamn shot, give him his shot. And now that he has gotten his shots and he has gotten all of those pretty trinkets around his waistline, they now are reading the Wall Street Journal. They all walking around with briefcases and turtlenecks around this joint. Everybody's a businessman. It don't make business sense, man. You gotta think like a businessman. You can't be a boxing fan. Get the fuck out of here. No one will convince me at this point that I want to see Shawn Porter versus Bud next so bad. I've seen Bud now face former world champions. How many? Jeff Horn, former world champion, undisputed champions, all kind of B-level opponents. Why do I need to continue to see that? Why do I need to continue to see that? I've seen Errol Spence Jr. be Mikey Garcia, Kell Brook, and Lamont Peterson. That's 3 world champions, former world champions. How many do we need? How many? Shawn Porter is another one. That's how many world champions. You want to see them fight all these B-level former world champions just to lead up to a damn fight. We know how good they are. I don't need to be learning no more. I know how good they are. I want to see them fight now. This is the reason why we didn't get J-Rock versus Hurd. I mean, why we didn't get Charlo versus Hurd. Ain't this is a reason? Huh? If my main man, God forbid, Bomb Squad loses to Fury, we never going to get Fury and Joshua and Wilder? Is this how it's going to work? How many marination gone wrong fights have we seen? But y'all was just cool with it. Funny. These same people used to be right here like, man, your man Keith Thurman, he's XYZ. He's not fighting Spence. Keith Thurman is this. Keith Thurman is that. I remember those days. But they cool to do it to Bud, though. So I don't know. You say you've been reading the Wall Street. Hey, bro, that's the hey, man. It's a business mentality. And don't get me wrong, man. You know what I mean? Hey, I get the fans. Y'all be like, man, it's about business, man. I understand. Y'all know I understand the fight game, so I understand what y'all saying. But at this point in time, I don't want to hear that shit no more. I just don't want to hear. But Bob, man, get it together, bro. You got to pay somebody, man. I don't know what the circumstances is, but Bob, we ain't buying this shit, bro. You got to dig deep. Ain't nobody going to keep believing this no more. No one wants to hear this no more. No one wants to hear who's going to pay for what. Now, PBC, they can help the situation. They can lend a hand. They can say, hey, well, we'll pay for this percentage. We'll cover this. We'll cover that. They can lend a hand. They ain't just got to be total assholes about it and just be like, nah, we didn't strip Porter of all prestige. We took his belts. He has no fan base. We got no value for him. Now you take him and pay top dollar for him. That's what they doing. Everybody, Keith beat Porter. Earls beat Porter. No one's clamoring for a Danny Porter too. Now, I would love to see a Earl versus Porter too. I would love to see that fight. They ain't talking about that. So it's like we done with Porter. Now here, Bud, you can take him now. Just like we did with Luis Collazo. And he still gonna want a bunch of money. PBC can help out. Don't get it twisted. They can definitely help out, especially if they want to do a pay-per-view, but they don't feel like they have to because they're not in a position that they have to do it. No one's going to force them to do it. No one's going to tell PBC, oh, you have to send Keith Thurman over there. No one's going to tell PBC, you have to send Errol Spence. You have to make it. No, here's the sad part is WBO, number 1 contender, Danny Garcia. You don't hear nobody yelling from the rooftops he's going to be the mandatory. He's not been named the mandatory. He's in the number 1 position. He's coming off a win. He's been sitting around doing nothing. He could be named the mandatory. They just haven't done it. So it is what it is. Steaks taste better in marinade. Hey, let it marinate. All right, hey, I tell you what, did one of them dudes lose? Terrence Crawford getting up there in age, man. We almost lost this fight altogether because Earl almost was out of the equation. Thank God that he made it back. But that's what I'm saying, man. Like, we need to get these two fighters are in their primes. Everybody, Danny Garcia, I don't want to hear nothing about no damn Danny Garcia. Dude was like the 5th, 6th best welterweight. And everybody keep telling me about Danny Garcia because he got a fan base. Man, miss me with that shit. Miss me with that shit. Tell Danny to fight your Danish Ugas and come holler at me. Miss me with that. Just keep hooking up Danny shit. He lose. He fights a bum. Oh, he's back on top. He lose again. He fights a bum. Oh, he's back on top. And here we are, bring around the fucking Rosie again for the 3rd time. He beats Granados. Oh, he's back on top. He's the mandatory. He deserves his shot, man, because he has a huge Puerto Rican fan base. Man, miss me with that shit. Danny lost. Danny lost. He ain't beat nobody if you know that welterweight. Miss me with that shit. Danny lost. Danny need to face your Danish Ugas and then come holler at me. We need to be talking about Spence Crawford if we're going to talk about Spence Manny or Spence Danny. Shit don't change. Shit don't change. So it is what it is, man. And at this point, Manny Pacquiao got 1 fight left in boxing, probably 1, 2 fights tops. Everyone's clamoring for it. Look, young boys, just do what you do. I can't tell people enough, and I know no one's hearing me at this point. Crawford and Spence is the biggest fight in boxing. It has the most prestige in boxing. It has some of the highest prizes in boxing. Not to mention possibly the #1 pound for pound ranking would be on the line in that fight. It is the biggest fight in boxing. And here we are playing Murder Nation because everybody got on a fucking briefcase. Come on. Come on, bro. Get out of here. Get out of here. So that is what it is, man. Bob Arum, you know what I mean? Same old story, same old ring around the rosy. We don't want to pay. Who going to afford it? We can't pay for it. You know, Al Heyman is going to have a one-up on a lot of these cats when this coronavirus stuff ends. His deals with Fox and Showtime are going to be gold. You know what I'm saying? Because he doesn't have to use pay-per-view to put on a lot of fights. And he doesn't have to have a cable subscription in order for you to watch a lot of fights. His fights are literally on free television, like regular television. Like you ain't got to pay nothing. You know what I mean? Like nothing. So he may have a one leg on a lot of cats when this coronavirus stuff opens because he will have the ability to put boxing in front of the American or in front of the boxing audience on regular television, as opposed to Bob, who has to put it on ESPN, which means you have to pay for a cable subscription, as opposed to Eddie, who's fighting off an app, which means you got to pay for a subscription fee. Well, for Al's fights in the PBC, technically, you ain't got to pay shit. That's the one leg up he'll have on everybody coming back to the game. You know what I'm saying? All day. I'm going to leave it right there, fight fans. Y'all be good out there, man. Y'all be chill. Stay safe. Stay stressed and sucker free, most importantly, because the devil is everywhere, omnipresent everywhere at the same damn time, and he coming to ruin your day all day. Bob Arum, give us a new excuse, but at the end of the day, damn the Shawn Porter fight. It's a good fight, but damn, my boy Bud is going to be 32 soon. 32. I guess him and Spence ain't going to fight till Bud 35, 36. My man Earl says, yo, man, I'm struggling to stay here at 47. I'm walking around at 190 pounds. I'm drinking 26 ounces of water to get through the day. He's struggling to stay at that weight. How long is Earl going to be at 47? While y'all sitting around reading the Wall Street Journal? Riddle me that. How long we going to wait? It's already been over a couple years at this point. Whatever, man. I guess I'm tripping. To the next one. Much love to you all. Thumbs up on the way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. Much love, and I catch y'all later. To the next one. Peace out.